Welcome to the channel, y'all. My name is Greg Beakley, and we're starting this new channel up. If you like classic airplanes and aviation, tailwheel flying, might be a nice channel to watch. Anyway, I posted a few videos recently and the last couple weeks, but I've never posted a video introducing myself or the airplane that we're flying. So I want to take a short few minutes here and do a walk around the airplane, show you what we got going and what we plan on doing. So welcome to the hangar. So this is my Cessna 140. It's 1946. We'll do a walk around her. She's got a C85, so 85 horsepower Continental in it. I got it last year. I just went through the second annual with it. Didn't get it up too much last year because it's been sitting in the hangar for 9 years before we got her out and dusted off and polished up a little bit. But it's a great flying airplane. And in some later videos, I'll go over some of the stuff we had to do when we pulled out of the hangar after 9 years to get her airworthy. So she's called Old Betsy. We'll go up and check her out. Standard 6-pack. We'll go to the other side. So it does have a VOR, you can see. Your standard 6-pack. I did add a Dynon EFS for it. And we'll discuss that a little bit more later. And I fly with 4-flight. So let's look at the serious massive power plant. So this was rebuilt about 200 hours ago. Fresh engine. We had to do a few things to it this last annual, and we'll go over that in a later video. Things to look for, things to watch out for, things to adjust. But it runs great. A little bit about my airport here. We're at E36 up in Northern California. Port elevation is just over 2,600 feet, and we're not flying this morning because it's already about high 80s, close to 90 degrees. Last week we've had, every day's been over 100 degrees. I've flown quite a few days this week, but you got to get up early and get down. So here on 4-flight, here we're up at E36, it's Georgetown, so I'll let you guys see sort of where we're at here. We're 2,600 feet here. We're just getting up into the high Sierras. So down here, that's Beale Air Force Base, Sacramento International. You got Sacramento McClellan. So this is the valley here down in Sacramento. Along here, we're 2,600 foot here up in the trees. So you come up here, and that's Lake Tahoe. So if you can see from Sacramento to Lake Tahoe, we're about halfway to Lake Tahoe. If I fly 20 minutes down towards the valley, I'm pretty much in pretty flat land to where you can actually plan an engine out landing. And you'll see by the video I post in here, up here, there's very little areas for engine out, and the farther you fly this way, the less and less engine out landing. There's just, you're going to be treetop landing. And we'll talk a little bit about that in another video, because coming this way, it's very, for a new pilot, very nerve-wracking, because you don't get all the little things they talk about in class about always look for a place to emergency land. You can see airports along here, but once you get up into the higher country, there's absolutely nothing up here. So we'll talk about that later. Anyway, that's where we're at. We're about halfway between Lake Tahoe and Sacramento, right up in the higher foothills, lower Sierras. So we do have a nice radio bank. Does have a nav with a single VOR and my regular comm, and I do have a transponder in here. So the one thing that we do need to work on is I do not have ADS-B out. I do have a Syntron up here to help me get all my weather and traffic. You got your throttle, your mixture, and you'll find that a lot of these planes don't have a mixture. They were actually built without a mixture. I call it my Volkswagen flaps. So you got your flaps, your wheel trim setting, and then your fuel. So we got left tank, right tank. So I do want to give a shout out to Kevin Quinn. In less than 2 months, about I believe 56 days from now, is a High Sierra fly-in, which is the National Stoll Drags, just north of Reno a bit. You can fly in, drive in. Got our tickets the other day. They're looking at getting the tickets and getting the head count for out there, so it's a great show, great flying, one of the best I've ever gone to. So if I'm not out on a fire, because I work wildland fires here, if I'm not out on a fire, we'll see you out there. So a little about me. When I was a teenager, I built an ultralight airplane. My dad was a private pilot. I really wanted to get into flying. I built that ultralight airplane. It took me 3 years to build that. I flew it in my early 20s. I was in the military at the time, and it was a great project, great plane. I did unfortunately end up, like many people with ultralights, I did end up wrecking that plane with a spin stall. Anyway, that's another story for another time. I started getting my pilot's license in 2014, and I got about 40 hours logged. I was ready to do my check rides, and unfortunately, like so many others, life changed. I ended up in a divorce, and things spun sideways, so I had to put it on a middle to a long delay. I do work, I was at the time working, I was a career firefighter and paramedic. So now I'm retired from that, and 18 years later or so, I started back up last year getting my pilot's license. I wanted to buy my own plane, so I wasn't paying an absurd amount of money to rent a plane. So I came across this from my retired fire chief I used to work for. He sold this to me, and we got it back up flying again. So I'm still a student pilot. I've logged about 80 hours of my logbook now. I got my tail wheel recently, the 14th of last month, I believe. So now I'm just trying to log hours, get a lot of practice in, and planning on doing some High Sierra flying here shortly. And I just got some new stuff in for that, because it's a little bit uncomfortable to me to fly where I can't land this plane if I get an engine out or something. So I'll show you what I got. Anyway, that's a little bit about me. I'll add more later. I just hope you guys are liking what I've posted so far, and now I put this introduction video in here so you know a little bit more about me. So if you're thinking you like the channel, it's brand new. We're trying to build the channel, so if you like what you're seeing so far, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. We're going to try and do 1 or 2 videos a week. We'll see how it is with my schedule. It is August here in Northern California, so it's a little unusual that I'm not out on a wildland fire. So I'll keep doing videos until I got to go out on wildland fires, and then I'll do videos maybe out there, give you a shot of what we do out on the bigger wildland fires. Anyway,